Right now, a woman gets ready to open her business. A farmer checks on his livestock. A baker takes out her first batch. In every part of the world, each day starts anew with their mission of bringing satisfaction and happiness through food. Each bread kneaded with love. Each meal handled with care. This noble undertaking is our passion, to provide the best of ingredients and the best of breeds. By being your partner, we have the opportunity to feed the world. We are one food group. The food subsidiary of one of the top conglomerates in the Philippines, Aboitiz Equity Ventures. With over 100 years of advancing business and communities, we occupy a niche in its core businesses by being its integrated food and agri-business company. Guided by our principles of guidance, consistency, and results, we are dedicated to partnering with our stakeholders to grow and scale their businesses. Above and beyond our quality products, we provide solutions and build partnerships for growth. As one of the industry leaders, we are relentless in our pursuit of excellence by acquiring capacities and capabilities to further expand our footprint across the Asia Pacific. Today, Pilmico and Gold Coin have a strong multinational presence. We have multiple research and production facilities all over the Asia Pacific. We take pride in continuously cultivating an agile and multicultural workforce that is driven by our values of integrity, teamwork, innovation, and responsibility. With these combined strengths, we are equipped to take a leadership position in innovating the food value chain. After a day of labor, everyone deserves a bountiful harvest that will bring happiness in every gathering, in every order, and in every plate we come home to.
Good afternoon, partners. Let us start this session with a prayer. Loving Heavenly Father, we come to you this hour asking for your blessing and help as we are gathered together. We pray for guidance in the matters at hand and ask that you would clearly show us how to conduct our work with a spirit of joy and enthusiasm. Give us the desire to find ways to excel in our work. Amen. Good afternoon, partners. On behalf of Pilmico Flour and Pilmico Flour Sales, we welcome you to the 5th episode of our Baking with Pilmico Flour in partnership with TESDA. Again, I am Irish Ria Macaraeg, one of your bakery technicians for Luzon, and I am part of the Technical Services Group of Pilmico, led by our manager, Ma'am Carla Valencia. We also have other bakery technicians in the Philippines, Chef Rogen for Luzon, Chef Fritz for Visayas and Chef Lee and for Mindanao. So our goal is to help our flour users and provide technical assistance to you. So don't hesitate to contact us if you have any questions. And you may also join our Pilmico Bakers FB group, our growing community online where we share recipes and tips in baking. So you can join there and we'll accept your application. So again, I'm Irish Ria Macaraeg. I will be your host for today. So for those who just started joining our baking demos, this is Baking with Pilmico Flour in partnership with TESDA. This is a series of 10 episodes. We partnered with TESDA since we have this common goal to provide technical education and skills development for all of our bakers. TESDA will be providing resource speakers for those who are professional trainers and bread and pastry production, and they will be sharing their knowledge and expertise about technical know-hows, best practices in the field, and they will also be answering your questions later on after our live demo. So don't hesitate to comment down below your questions. So for today, our fifth episode, we will be making sourdough pumpkin bread. So in time for since October na, no, in time for Halloween. So yung mga interested in doing yung sourdough bread natin in pumpkin shape. No? And we'll also be discussing later yung how to make your own starter. Kasi syempre yun ang one of the important ingredients to making our sourdough, syempre, yung ating starter. So let me introduce first our two guests for today. Our demonstrator, Ma'am Marita Go, from Chef Maritime QC. She graduated from her bread and pastry production course last 2018. Now she's teaching bread and pastry production and cookery in different tech work institutions such as Chef Maritime Quezon City, FPTI Manila Institute of Culinary Arts, Triple K East Capital Kitchen in Pasig, Renaissance School of Science and Technology, and 5-star Standard College in Cavite. She's also the founder and owner of EMG Enterprises, Arama Rizal, where they offer baked products and preserved foods. No? And they have joined various national and regional food fairs. She said that TESDA emboldens her skills and knowledge and accepts her to stand again, be productive, and also in return, share and do the same to our fellow Filipinos. And also, we have our lecturer, Ma'am Ria Macaraeg from Concepcion Vocational School, joining us again today, no? Since from our last episode. She has been a bread and pastry production trainer in TESDA at Concepcion Vocational School for 2 years. Previously, she works as a hotel and tourism coordinator at Golden Olympus College. She joined TESDA because she sees the opportunity to contribute her skills and knowledge to others. Ayan, so let us welcome our guests for today, Ma'am Ritz and Ma'am Ria. Hello, good afternoon po.
Hello, good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon, ma'am. So, kamusta naman tayo, ma'am, ngayon? I think nawala ata yung connection ni Ma'am Ria, no? So, let's discuss first sa'yo, Ma'am Ritz. So, yung recipe natin today, I think matagal na kayong gumagawa talaga ng sourdough, no?
Yes po, since 2018 din, na nag-start ako sa bread and pastry production. So, kumbaga parang, naging interested talaga ako dun sa sourdough kung paano yung process na kasi natural siya and good for our health, especially to our digestion.
So, hindi talaga kayo gumagamit doon ng commercial yeast, no? Yung starter, yun na yung mismong pang-leaven ninyo.
Yes po. Yun na yung mismo yung leavener, natural leavener na ginagawa ko.
Mm-hmm. So, ano po ang special na characteristic ng mga sourdoughs compared dun sa mga iba nating breads?
So by history kasi, sourdough po talaga is, di ba nag-umpisa naman talaga ang bread through grains. So from roasted grain na pinound and then placed some water to make it paste, to make it bread. So doon din nag-start na hindi sinasadya nila with the leftovers of this paste. Yun na yung naging leaveners na mga una nag-create ng bread. So, sa atin din, mas maganda talaga yung sourdough. Whenever I eat sourdough, mas magaan siya sa tummy ko to digest. While, compared dun sa mga commercial breads with commercial yeast din, medyo minsan umaasim or you feel bloated. Using sourdough, mas light. Okay? And then wala yung feeling mo na parating busog ka pero inside gutom ka na because dun sa effect na kanyang natural yeast.
So talagang mas healthy tayo sa sourdough, no? Kasi less na yung mga other chemical na ingredients natin talaga.
Apo. And it is also breakdown. Yung, kumbaga, yung kanyang components ay breakdown na. So, pagdating sa ating digestion, mas madali na siyang ma-digest.
Mm. Ayan. So, to explain yung ating gagamitin for this recipe, no, yung ating starter, yung sourdough starter, Ma'am Ria will be discussing yung how to make your own sourdough starter. Para syempre, kung gusto niyo i-try sa bahay, gagawin natin recipe today, papakita ni Ma'am Ria kung paano siya ginagawa from scratch talaga. So, yan. Hello again, Ma'am Ria. Welcome back.
Hello, good afternoon po.
Ikaw ng demonstrator natin. Ngayon, ikaw naman ang lecturer natin. Ayan.
Yes. After ang demonstration, lecturer naman ako today.
Yes. So, okay ka na dito, ma'am. So, I think we'll start now with our discussion naman. So, ipi-play na natin yung slides and then Ma'am Ria will be discussing. And then later on, saka na natin play yung ating video.
Okay, so ready na tayo, Miss Irish?
Yes, go ahead, ma'am.
Okay, so sourdough starter po. So this is actually basically po, hindi siya yung commercial yeast na ginagamit natin for leavening ng ating mga dough. So ito is ginagawa at tinatawag natin siyang, other term is the wild yeast. So this is actually used for crusty sourdough, which is for bread of baguettes, pizza dough. We have also yung ating mga banana breads, crackers, sourdough buns, sourdough tortillas, and we have yung ating mga biscuits. So starter po, ang tawag natin dito is the sourdough starter, which is often referred to as the wild yeast. So this is made up of flour and water. Next, ma'am. Next po.
So, next slide muna tayo. Ayan, on this slide po ba? Ayan, medyo may lag lang tayo. Medyo mahina sa internet for technical difficulties.
Okay, so our sourdough starter is made, this is for the bread. It's made by combining flour and water.
Ayan, so medyo na-disconnected si Ma'am Rian. Ako na lang muna mag-discuss. So, sourdough starter, bread is made by combining flour and water and allowing it to sit until natural yeasts begin to ferment. So, kasi ito ay natural yeast, we don't use yung commercial yeast dito. So, after that, the starter was utilized to leaven bread. Ayan, again. Andiyan yan si Ma'am Rian.
Okay, so again, so bread is made by combining the flour and water and allowing it to sit until natural yeast begins to ferment. So actually po, ang ating sourdough starter is ginagawa natin from 1 to 6 days or more. Okay, so depende po yan sa ating temperature or sa ating lugar kung saan natin siya gagawin. And after that, the starter was utilized to leaven bread. So this is used for breads na po siya. Next, ma'am.
Ayan, next slide.
So sourdough starter as a yeast. So again, this is to maintain in health and happy. So you must feed it once a week. So ito is pag sinasabing feeding time is binibigyan natin sila, binibigyan natin sila ng food, which is ito yung flour and ito yung yeast. Okay, ito yung water na ginagamit natin. So tinotoss natin yung mixture or minimix po natin siya para maging paste yung consistency niya. Okay? Parang yung peanut butter yung consistency. Okay, so the temperature has a bigger impact on feeding. In a warm atmosphere, the starting will metabolize the flour more rapidly. So, mas lumalakas or nagbabubbles po siya kapag yung ating atmosphere or yung ating temperature is mainit. So, whereas the cold environment, it will take longer. So, kapag ang ating sourdough starter is usually pag mainit is hanggang 6 days lang. Pero kapag nasa cold environment tayo, nag-extend po yung kanyang process para maging wild yeast po siya. Next, Ma'am Irish.
And next slide.
So, sourdough takes, sabi ko nga, 6 days. So, to 12 days if cold. So, in day 1 po, use whole grain flour. Ito pwede tayong gumamit ng mga wheat flour. Okay? So, ito yung magandang gamitin for the sourdough starter po natin. And for the measurement, it's a ratio and proportion po ng water and flour. So, wini-weigh po natin siya sa kitchen scale. So, it should be like thick paste and then the temperature is 70 degrees. So, kailangan din natin ng thermometer for this para at least alam natin yung temperature ng ating area. So, sa day 2, after 24 hours, kailangan may makita na tayong not actually malalaking bubbles, but a little bubbling. And doon natin siya i-feed. Okay, mag-feed na tayo for the second day, which is, again, flour and yung mixture of water. Sa day 3 naman, definitely, ganun din po. So, you can see more bubbles na po. And you may need feeding two times. Pwedeng sa umaga, pwedeng sa gabi. So, depending on the temperature of your home or your house. So, the key here is to watch it. Do not feed the starter until it looks hungry. Paano ba malalaman na hungry siya? So, kapag nagbo-bubbles na po yan. Okay, so sa day 4, again, you have to feed it 2 times. Look for the hungry sign. Okay, so because feeding it when not hungry, pwede po siyang mag-dilute or pwedeng bumagsak yung ating wild yeast. So, better to starve than to overfeed the yeast po. Next, ma'am.
Yung next slide, please.
Yes, next slide.
Ito yung steps din. So, yung day 4 yun yung inulit natin.
Apo. So, sa stage 5 or day 5, again, the same din po ng procedure natin. Flour, and then we have the combination of water. So, we can feed it 1 to 2 times. Pero depende po yan sa temperature ng ating area. So, kapag nakikita yung nagbo-bubbles na siya, so, usually nasa isang beses lang natin yan feed. Pero kapag medyo hindi siya nagbabubbles, yun, nagmo-morning and evening po tayo. So, the starter in day 5 should look visibly active. So, bubbling, rising, close to doubling in size. So, nagdo-double yung size natin. And then, sa day 6 po, give at 1 list feeding. So, start should we have to double o nagdo-double na yung volume within 4 to 6 hours and feeding. And then, you do the float test. Okay? Paano ba yung float test na sinasabi natin? Ang float test is kuha ka a teaspoon of our sourdough starter or yung ating wild yeast, ilalagay po sa tubig. So, kapag nag-float si starter, ibig sabihin, okay na po siya. Okay? So, you can use that, ang ating starter, for for our breads na po. Okay? So, next, ma'am. So, sa ating sourdough starter, we have 2 important points that kailangan nating malaman. So, the presence of wild yeast. So, wild yeast is not actually yung yeast na binibili natin. So, it's not commercial. This is actually made. Ginamit po ito noon pa, nung wala pang mga yeast. And it has unique flavor. So, may gradually change character. and can tolerate acidity than commercial yeast. Can tolerate and grow at higher levels of acidity. Actually, yung ating the comparison of our wild yeast, which is the sourdough starter, and yung nabibili nating yeast, mas acidic si yeasts, okay, kaysa si wild yeast na ginagawa natin. So, mas tumatagal yung bread and mas nawawala yung sour taste po ng ating yung sour taste doon sa ating mga breads. So, yun po yun. Next, ma'am. Next slide, please.
Next slide, please.
Okay, so this is another point is the bacterial fermentation. So ito yung tumutulong. In our yeast po is kailangan natin lagyan ng water and yung sugar para dito yung mag-foamy like. Okay, dito sa ating sourdough or yung starter po natin, meron na po siyang bacterial fermentation. So tumutulong na siya para mag-ferment ang ating mga breads. So some sugar in the dough and create carbon dioxide. Yun yung tinatanggal natin. Yun yung pinapunch natin kapag tayo is nagmamasa na. Okay? So we have actually nag-create din siya ng acid, which is the lactic acid, which is weak, mild acid and acetic acid. This is came from the acid of vinegar and strong acid. So, yan yung dalawang points na kailangan nating makita, which is yung wild yeast and yung bacterial fermentation para magkaroon tayo ng starter or tinatawag na wild yeast for our breads. Okay, next po. Next, ma'am. Next slides.
Next up po dito, ma'am.
Okay, so starting and maintaining natural starters. So we just have to keep in mind your starter is well established and strong and you've successfully cooked loaf with it. So kailangan lang natin make sure na yung ating starter is yung buo siya or buhay siya. So in their sourdough breads, different bakers seek out different results. So as a result, the method for creating, maintaining, and using natural starters differs significantly. So yung starter po natin, nagdidepende yan sa mga areas. Okay? Later on, I will be discussing the tips. Next slides, ma'am.
Next, please.
Okay, so these are the tips for our sourdough starter. So we have the temperature. So kailangan po natin ng yung temperature ng area. So sabi ko nga kanina, kapag medyo mainit siya, so mabilis yung paggawa natin ng wild yeast. While kapag nasa cold temperature tayo, yan, medyo tumatagal siya. So basically po, ang ating temperature ang paggawa ng ating sourdough starter is 6 days po siya. And nadadagdagan siya, depende po sa ating temperature ng ating areas. Okay, sa flour, mas maganda pong gamitin ang wheat flour or yung whole grain flour para po mas stabilize natin yung ating starter or the sourdough starter. You can use also all-purpose flour pero hindi siya ganun kaganda doon sa ating magiging breads. Okay? So, ating water, it should be, ano lang yung tubig. Yung ating flour and water is proportion po siya. If you have added 1 cup of flour, so you have to put 1 cup of flour, 1 cup of water also. Sa hydration, ang hydration po natin is nasa 100% of hydration. So ito yung moisture ng ating flour and the water itself. And syempre, yung ating storing and feeding. So storing is you have to store them sa room temperature, para at least makuha natin yung tamang doon sa ating sourdough. And syempre, yung feeding is 1 to 2 times, depende na po sa ating sourdough starter kung paano natin siya nakitang hungry para maging happy si sourdough starter. And syempre, yung using, so you have to use the starters for our breads, like yung mga bagets po natin and other biscuits. Yun po yung gamit for the sourdough starter. Mas tumatagal yung po natin. Mas tumatagal yung breads po natin at mas nawawala po yung sour taste natin. Okay? So, that's it. Thank you, Ma'am
Thank you,
Irish.
Ma'am Irish. Thank you for the introduction dun sa ating kung paano gumawa nung sa starter natin. Kasi very important part siya ng using our sourdough since we don't use commercial yeast for this bread. So, we use yung
Yes,
wild yeast as explained by Ma'am Ria. So, since napakita na natin paano gumawa ng sourdough starter, we can start to play our video for the pumpkin sourdough bread.
Everyone, today I'm going to demonstrate how to make a sourdough bread. So before we make a sourdough bread, we should have first our sourdough starter. So make sure that your sourdough starter is mature enough and active before you use it. Also, you can observe if our starter is very much active, if it is so bubbly and polish-like or spongy type of starter. It triples the size, it is bubbly, it is airy, it is spongy. So that's the time you can use our starter. Another technique to test our starter if it is ready to use is the float test. So you get a bowl, you put some water in it, and you drop a tablespoon of sourdough starter or the starter. So if it floats, it is ready to use. It is active and ready to use. How will you know it's a very active or matured starter? So please look at the video just below. You can see the activity of our sourdough starter. So how active it is for less than 12 hours. It doubles and triples the size of our starter. So try to make a sourdough starter. So now that we have a sourdough starter, let's now make a sourdough bread. In a large container, mix the water and our wooden spoon whole wheat flour. Mix until well combined. Then gradually add our sun moon hard wheat flour to our first mixture. Mix it by hand until all the second flour or hard flour is added to the mixture. This time it will be slightly sticky on your hand. non-exin covered container and let the dough rest for 20 to 30 minutes, allowing it to absorb the water. So 30 minutes has passed. Now we can add our active sourdough starter to our rested dough. Do the pinch and fold method to properly combine the sourdough starter and the final dough. Dissolve the salt into the water. Then, gradually add to the dough. After that, continue the slap and fold method. Doing the slap and fold method, now it's time to cover your dough and rest it for 1 hour. First, 1 hour fermentation is done. Now, let's uncover the dough and do the stretch and fold method. Cover it again and allow to rest for another hour. The second hour of rest is done, so now we can add our raisins or nuts as additional flavoring for our bread. it's the right time to shape our dough. First is the buttart or oval shape. Fold the upper part of the dough, then fold, stretch the two sides, then overlap. And the second, fold the upper part, stretch the two sides, overlap, and then roll. For the bowl or round shape, fold the side, fold it to the center, fold the other side, fold it to the center. Do it clockwise until you shape it into round. After shaping, place your dough on a banneton and then rest for 45 minutes to 1 hour. The dough now is ready to bake. Be sure to preheat your oven and Dutch oven to 220 degrees Celsius. Place the dough inside the Dutch oven, cover it, and bake it for 20 minutes. After 20 minutes, uncover the Dutch oven and bake it for another 15 minutes. Finally, here's our pumpkin-shaped sourdough bread. Thank you for watching.
Ayan. So, thank you, Ma'am Ria, Ma'am Ritz, for our demo for the sourdough pumpkin bread. Ayan. Hello again, Ma'am Ria. So, just in time for our holiday Halloween celebration no, this October. Pag may mga gustong gawa ng other than the usual na bull lang talaga. Pwede natin siyang gawing mga pumpkin and then yung may mga filling pa siya ng mga raisins. Other than raisins, ma'am, ano pa yung mga pwede nating pang fillers?
Different kinds of nuts and grains, pwede din po sa kanya. And if ever na gusto talaga nila yung parang may pagka-orange or yellowish yung color inside, they can add yung mismong squash kasi wala naman talaga tayong
Oo,
pumpkin
para
dito
may
or
flavor
meron
na
man.
May
Yes.
kailangan ba
And
i-adjust sa
additional,
recipe if ever? Yeah, mag-a-add.
mag-a-adjust na lang. So, dapat yung pinaka-squash natin is mash or cook na siya. Then, naka-mash. So, may water content na yon. So, adjust na lang ng konti doon sa ating water. Kaya yung water na nilagay ko po is naka-variable siya. May range lang na pwede. So, depende sa water and absorption ng flour. So, dun sa ating naman sun, moon, star, hard flour, hindi naman siya ganun kahirap i-adjust yung water na ilalagay. So, may iba kasing flour na, kumbaga, hindi naman kundi maglagay ng water, but in our flour, mas madali siyang i-adjust. Yun po.
So, for those pala na naghahanap nung sa recipe natin, no, na pinost kami dun sa Pilmico Flour page, yung sa ating pinaka-recipe ng dough. And then yung sa starter natin, ano ulit yun, Ma'am Ria, yung ating mixture ng paggawa sa per day ng sa starter natin. So, explain na lang natin. Sa mga nakamiss lang kung ilan yung measurement ng flour at saka water na. Sige, Ma'am Ria, go ahead. Yung natin. Yung measurement ulit natin nung for our starter po, ng flour and water ratio na for the starter.
Okay. For the measurement po ng ating sourdough starter po natin. So, yung ating 1 cup of flour, basically that's bread flour. Sabi nga ni Ma'am Ritz kanina, mas magandang gamitin ng bread flour and other flours po kasi mas natin yung bread flour. And then half cup of water po. Okay, so 1 cup of flour and half cup of water. Yan. So, yun, pag inulit natin, ganun din po siya. So pag ipo-portion na natin lang 1 cup of flour and 1 cup of water. Yes, magdi-discard na lang tayo ng half.
And so, yun sa mga nagtatanong kasi baka hindi lang siya talaga na-highlight sa slide natin. So, ngayon at least, explain na natin kung paano talaga yung mixture ng ating starter. And then yung recipe naman ng mismong bread is uploaded naman sa ating Pilmico Flour page. You can visit our page na lang. So let's proceed to our shoutouts muna before our Q&As. For sure, maraming mga nanonood dyan from our Pilmico Flour Facebook page and also official page ng ating TESDA. So hello from Lucy from Canada. Hello po. So, hindi lang sa Philippines, no? Syempre, may mga around the world din tayo nanonood. Good afternoon from Laguna, Ma'am Ligaya. Good afternoon, Ma'am Maria from North Caloocan. Ma'am Bernadette from Kawit Cavite. And for sure, may mga students din kayo. So, magandang hapon po.
Yes.
And mga batchmates na for sure mga students yun from TESDA. Hello po, Sir Mark Ryan, Ma'am Grace. Thank you, good topic. Actually, parang last year pa ata may mga interested gumawa ng sarili nilang starter, no? And gumawa ng sourdough starter. Kasi interested talaga siya since interesting, hindi ka talaga gagamit ng commercial yeast. So medyo mas healthy siya and beneficial. Ayan. So, pwede mag-start na tayo for our Q&As. Kasi nakita ko kanina yung list ng questions natin talagang sobrang haba. So, let's start with Ma'am. interested sila eh. So, saan po nakakabili ng wild yeast? Meron po ba alternative? Explain mo nga ulit, Ma'am Ria, kung ano ba talaga ang wild yeast natin. Medyo na-confuse na ata yung mga viewers.
Okay. Ang ating wild yeast is a combination of yung ating flour and water. So, ginagawa po natin yan, hindi siya commercial, ginagawa natin yan sa bahay. So, depende yan sa temperature natin dun sa bahay. So, we have flour and water po ang ating ang tawag dito, ingredients. May nabibili siya na nabasa ko, may nabibiling sourdough na.
Yung starter na mismo, no, yung talagang
Na ready-made. So, pwede na siyang
yung mga wild yeast kasi
orderin
nakuha natin
door-to-door na.
Flour.
So, yun yung ano natin sa sourdough. Pero mas maganda na gawin siya sa bahay. Para mas safe.
Yan.
Flour
so, pwede
and
na
water.
mag-start ngayon, mga 1 week, pwede na yan gamitin. And from Ma'am Arlie, how long ang shelf life ng sourdough starter? So, I think as long as finifeed niyo pa naman siya, buhay pa naman siya naman. So, meron pa nga sourdough starter na mga years na talaga.
6 days. Ang
Kasi
kanyang 6 days po ginagawa.
So, 6 days yung parang start niya, tapos na siya. Matured na siya, bale ganun. So, parang i-feed mo na lang siya. So, paano daw ulit, Ma'am, yung feeding natin? Mga 1 week kasi siyang
Matured.
Matured niya. Pero pag matured na siya, yung feeding niya, pwedeng daily kasi kunyari, everyday kayo, kunyari bakery kayo, tapos madalas kayong gumawa ng breads.
Yung feeding natin
para
is
na-replenish. Tapos kung kunyari, hindi naman kayo ganun kadalas, pwede yung once a week, pero you have to chill it. Para hindi siya, kasi kung mainit, talagang magugutom. Tapos baka mahirapan kayong mag-revive.
So, pakita ko lang din.
Discard. Sige, go ahead, Ma'am.
Okay. Habang wala pa po si Miss Ria na disconnect ito. Ito yung aking starter. Apo. So, kaya meron siyang markings para alam ko kung ano na yung growth niya. Kung nagdo-double triple or quadruple na yung kanyang growth. So, ito, nabawasan ko na to. But last night, nung nilabas ko siya sa ref, nag-grow pa siya up to here. So, lumakpas pa rin siya. Nag-double pa rin kahit na nabawasan siya. Another is, pag hindi ko pinapakain, nilalagay ko lang siya sa refrigerator. Sa inner side, huwag malapit sa ref kasi iba na yung temperature natin pag malapit sa ref. So, nilalagay ko siya sa inner side ng pinaka-refrigerator. And, hindi ko lang alam kasi kung makikita nyo. Hindi. How bubbly kasi. Pero yung texture niya, ayan. So,
matured na yung starter niya.
Yes, ma'am. Apo. So, pag kasi humihina siya, sometimes humihina siya, parang tinatamad or nagtatampo or sometimes sobrang gutom na. So, I need to adjust. Kailangan i-adjust siya. And also, the content of the lactic acid niya kasi nag-i-increase na din kapag gano'n. So, kailangan ko din pababain yung kanyang lactic acid by the time na talaga humihina na siya.
So, talaga na-activate.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Baby ko to. This is a baby.
Okay, next question from Ambilen. What is the proportion of the feeding material? I think yung after mo siya i-discard tapos i-feed mo ulit siya. Yung sa iyo ba, Ma'am Ritz, ano yung ginagawa mo dyan sa yung ganyan kalaki na container?
Ang starter, di ba meron na tayong active starter? So mag-discard tayo ng iba. Kasi pag hindi, sobrang dami na niya. Like this one, nasa 250 grams. So pag pinakain ko to lahat, the proportion kasi is 1:1. So kung 250 grams to, kailangan yung flour ko 250 grams din. Then the water is another 250 grams. So by the time na ilagay ko siya sa ganito kalaki, puno na to, or siguro 3/4. So no space na for yung paglaki niya or pag-angat niya.
Masyado na siyang madami. Kaya talagang dinidiscard. Ano ginagawa niyo, Ma'am,
sa
mga discards na?
Ayun, sa mga desserts, if I have time, I make brownies, pancakes, crackers. Pag wala naman, I do the dry sourdough starter. Tapos dun sa mga gustong magkaroon ng sourdough or we need it para sa training center, yun na yung ginagamit na.
Yun na yung binibenta na sinasabi nila
Yes.
na matured
Yes
starter.
po, yung matured
Ayan.
starter.
So, next question from Norms. Sana pwede ilagay yung sourdough sa glass na plastic container. Sorry.
Yung iba po nag-advise na sa plastic. But mostly na talagang sabihin na natin master na in sourdough. They never use plastic containers. They use jars, mason jars for their
glass.
sourdough starter.
Ito from Ma'am Cindy, medyo mahabang question. Good afternoon po, ma'am. Thank you for sharing your knowledge and recipe. Welcome po. Thank you. Ang tanong ko lang po, yun po bang wild yeast ay mabibili sa merkado? Yung nakalagay sa cellophane na maliit. Kung wala po akong mahanap na wild yeast sa paggawa ng starter, pwede po bang gumamit ng active dry? Ilang grams po ba ang kailangan at the same lang po ba ang procedure sa paggawa ng starter? Maraming salamat. So, yun at discussed kanina, yung wild yeast is nakukuha natin siya doon sa pag-ferment ng flour and water natin. So, yun kasi yung parang kasama na rin siya yung mga healthy bacteria natin dyan na kino-culture natin para maging starter natin. So, as compared dun sa sinasabi niyo siguro nakapackage na siya, baka yun yung sa commercial yeast natin. So, processed na siya. So, kung active dry yeast, hindi na siya yung sourdough as in starter na ginagamit natin. So, hindi na siya fermented na starter.
And natural. Kasi ang aim natin is to have natural bread.
And next question from Sir Mark. Ilang minutes po ang slap and fold, ma'am? Ilang minutes yung ginawa mo ka?
Okay, regarding the slap and fold, hindi siya nakabatay sa minutes. It's the number of slaps and the development of the gluten. So kung napansin nila yun sa akin, naging glossy na siya. And then yung stretch, hindi siya talaga napupunit. So parang nagbaballoon na. Elastic na talaga siya. So, siguro mga 25 to 30.
So, ayun, sir. Talaga i-check niyo yung dough. Ayun. From Mami, after po ba ng slap and fold, naka-window pane ba dapat before mag-rest ng 1 hour or after ba ng stretch and fold ang window pane? So, window pane mo ba yun, ma'am? Kailan niyo window pane?
Okay, nag-window pane ako. Actually, hindi siya window pane. Pinakita ko lang yung activity ng gluten na elastic na siya doon sa isang part after the 20 to 30 minutes rest. And then, after the slap and fold, wala talagang ginagawang yung window pane. It's the natural na shaping niya yung nangyayari. And then, less touch tayo kasi para yung airs niya na na-create ay nasa loob pa rin po.
So, kailangan medyo magdaan-gaan lang yung kamay mo pag nag-fold kayo, no? Kasi careful tayo
ng
mga form nating air bubbles.
And bitaw agad kasi pag nagtagal yung hands natin doon sa mismong dough, nagiging sticky siya. Kasi yung hands natin may sarili din temperature and moisture. Kaya kailangan pag slap mo, as in parang binabato mo talaga siya.
So, I think nakita ko yung kanina nagbasa ata kayo ng kamay, pati yung surface binasa niyo din para hindi talaga siya mag-stick.
Yes. If you're going to put water, very little use. Kaya iba talagang pinahid ko lang yung water, hindi ko siya nilagay ng marami. Kasi once na dumami din yung water natin dun sa dough, isa din siya sa magbe-break ng ating elasticity.
Okay. So, I hope na answer naman yung question, Mama Mina. Let's proceed to your next question. Ayan, from Mamina ulit. Yung raisins po ba, di na kailangan i-soak sa water or rum?
Okay. There are raisins na nabibili sa market na mataas yung moisture. So, pag ganun mataas yung moisture, you don't need to soak it. Pero pag sobrang dry, you need to soak it. Kasi pag nainitan din sa oven, lalo siyang nagda-dry up. If you're going to use ram, pwede din naman po, parang nag-add lang kayo ng flavor, no? Additional flavor for your sour.
Ayan. So, kailangan moist siya.
Mhm.
Kasi pag-evaporate yung water during baking.
Yes.
Ayan. So, next question. Ayan, from Amina ulit. Pag nag-dry ng sourdough starter, dapat po ba nasa peak or pwede yung discard? Pag ginagamit ba yung sinasabi nating active starter, yun po ba is before feeding or after feeding?
So, observe natin yung kanyang activity po. Kung active pa siya talaga, nag-create pa siya ng volume. Depende din kasi sa oras kung kailan niya finish. Tapos yung pinaka-peak, yung pinakamataas na naaabot niya, doon na natin siya gagawin.
So, yun,
But not the
yun yung
discard,
time
kasi
na
yung
pwede mo na
discard
siyang gamitin
talagang,
for the rest.
pag discard kasi talagang gutom na siya, wala na siya, kumbaga, very weak na yung yeast doon and very little na yung production ng yeast. Mas marami na yung production ng other elements.
So, kailangan after feeding, tapos parang a few hours after, pwede mo na siyang
Gamitin.
Yeah, next question. From Guadeline Munoz, yung ginawa po bang sourdough one time use ng po ba ito? Yung sourdough starter ata, yung sinasabi naman. Yung sourdough natin starter is...
hanggat buhay.
Hanggat buhay naman.
Parang sa akin kasi, years na to.
Basta inaalagaan naman natin.
Yes po.
Pwede siyang ilagay sa ref.
Continuous and consistent.
Pwede din siya.
Para tumagal din siya. Usually, nasa
kasi yung temp,
2 months. Nasa 2 months, pwede mo siyang gamitin. As long as may natitira.
So, mas buhay pa siya. Pero pwede pa naman i-revive, no? Kapag kunyari nag-vacation, tapos niiwanan mo siya. I-revive mo na lang siya ulit by feeding it again.
Basta walang presence ng molds or hindi po nag-iba yung amoy. Kasi yung iba talaga, nag-iiba niya yung amoy.
And so, next question.
So, hindi siya nakikitaan ng molds and yung mga bacteria.
Usually, nag-molds na siya, discard na talaga siya.
Discard.
And next question from Ma'am Kate. If wala pong Dutch oven, ano po yung alternative na gamitin to bake yung sourdough bread natin? Ma'am Ritz, ano po yung pwedeng...
Student ko yan, Ma'am. Student ko from, dito sa Rizal. Malapit-lapit na village. Baka sabihin niya, pupunta siya dito, manghiram Dutch oven. Pwede po yung pizza stone, pwede yon. Or kung gusto mo talaga yung pinaka-build up ng sourdough bread, yung niya, talaga nag-form siya into shape. Walang Dutch oven kasi medyo mahal. Pwede yung kalderong, yung pundido, yung tinatawag nilang pundido, o yung mga lumang klaseng kaldero, cast
basta
iron na
oven safe
kaldero.
kasi syempre.
Oven safe kasi meron mga kaldero na pag nag-reach na ng high temperature na bibiyak. So, pinakamaganda talaga yung mga cast iron na unang panahon yung medyo maitim siya, hindi kagaya ngayon na very clear or white.
So, talaga mag-i-invest ka for that. Kung gusto mo yun talagang yung magandang quality ng sourdough. Kasi ganun talaga siya niluluto.
Ganun.
So, next question from Ma'am Teres. Sa feeding ko, example, 250 ml yung starter. Tama po ba i-add is 250 flour and 250 ml ng water?
Yes.
So, I think yung starter is, babawasan mo pa yun ng discard or yun na ba yung bawas na?
Pag marami kasi, kunyari, maraming production ng bread, yung iba hindi na nagdi-discard as is na. So, kung baker, and then, pag marami pong production, talagang, hindi mo maiiwasan na walang discard. Kaya na mag-discard pa kasi yung production mo kumakain na marami din.
So, dapat, din, yung lalagyan mo, talagang
Kasi
makakontain niya yung ganun kadaming starter.
double yung size niya, di ba, ma'am? Right. So, nagdo-double yung size. So, in this 50 yan, tumal tayo.
Ayan. So, marami nang interested sa gumawa ng sarili nilang starter. Next time, marami na mag-post dyan mga sarili nilang sourdough bread. Next question.
And use the right flour, ma'am. Kasi pag hindi din yung right flour, hindi siya mag-boom as sourdough bread.
Parang yung ginawa niyo, ma'am, I think hinalo mo yung bread flour natin na Sun Moon Star. Yun kasi is yung premium flour natin na soda is high absorption ng water. So, maganda siya gamitin along with yung wooden spoon natin na whole wheat.
Yes. And whole wheat flour, dinagdag ko siya for extra flavor. And yung pinaka-feature niya, kasi pag whole wheat flour, kita natin yung pinaka-brand, yung balat ng grain.
So, actually, may mga iba pang kinds ng flour pwede mong ihalo other than yung whole wheat. Yung iba kasi gumagamit ng mga rye. Pwede naman kayong Ayan, another question from Sir Nolan. Ano pong temp ng oven nung binibake niyo yung sourdough natin?
200 to 220 degrees Celsius.
Ayan.
So mataas talaga. Dapat even yung oven and the Dutch oven. Same temperature.
And from Mamina ulit, ilan po yung yield ng recipe? One dough lang ba yung sa posted yield?
Yes, one dough lang. In-ripple ko lang sa ating recipe ko para makita nila yung visual
yung nasa video natin is in-ripple lang niya yung posted na recipe natin para makita niya iba-ibang shaping ba.
Yeah.
Ayan, from Mamina, pag marami yung gagawin na sourdough bread as in mass production, can we use yung spiral mixer daw, ma'am, to mix yung bread, yung dough natin?
If you're going to use spiral mixer, kailangan very slow lang yung movement. Kasi pag mabilis yung movement, mapuputol yung elasticity natin. So, very slow lang yung movement. But, ang advice pa rin po, because this is one of the artisanal bread, so by hand talaga siya hinahalo. With touch of love.
Ayan. So, I think, pwede siguro yung paghaloin mo lang and then, pwede mo na siyang ihiwalay na dun sa mixer. By hand mo na yung next. Lang siya, incorporate lang siya.
Yeah.
Ayan, so, since sobrang dami nating questions, so medyo nag-overtime na tayo, I think we can go na dun sa ating promotion natin. How about you, Ma'am Ritz? Pwede na po kayo mag-start din sa promotion ng sa school natin.
Okay, so for those who are located sa Metro Manila po, so meron kami sa CNTC, Chef Maritime, Quezon City po. Malapit po ito sa Quezon Avenue, GR Araneta corner Quezon Avenue sa Prime Mart building. Mabilis siyang makita kasi malapit lang siya dun sa underpass ng Quezon Avenue. And then for the Rizal area, we have the Renaissance School of Science and Technology sa Morong, Rizal. And also sa Pasig meron.
Okay. Ayan. Thank you, Ma'am Ritz. Okay, so ikaw, Ma'am Ria, baka promotion kayo sa from Concepcion Vocational School.
Hello, so from Concepcion Vocational School. So we have slots po. Marami pa po kaming slots for animal production, poultry, chicken. So animal production, swine. So organic agriculture production. So electrical installation ng NC2 and NC3. And then we have prepare cold meals leading to cookery and prepare hot meals leading to cookery. Meron din po kaming cookery NC2. We have also bread and pastry production NC2, contact tracing NC2. Yun po yung mga available para sa school namin sa Concepcion Vocational School. So punta lang po kayo sa school namin para magpa-register or you can register online po. So check the page of our school. So ang address po namin is sa TRC Compound, Alfonso Concepcion Tarlac. So hi sa mga estudyante at ang mga taga-CVS po na nanonood sa suporta. Maraming salamat po.
Ayan. Thank you, Ma'am Ria. Thank you, Ma'am Ritz,
Thank
again,
you.
for joining us sa ating live demo today. So, on behalf of Pilmico Flour and Pilmico Flour Sales, thank you again, everyone, for joining our 5th episode of Baking with Pilmico Flour in partnership with TESDA. No? So, remind ko lang pala, tomorrow we have our webinar with Sir James Magos, no? We'll be sending yung registration na lang natin later. Yung mga dough processes natin yung i-discuss natin tomorrow. So we'll be sending na lang yung link for registration sa chat box natin so you can join us tomorrow at 10 a.m. So via Zoom kasi siya, so kailangan nyo ng access. So pag nag-register kayo, mag-email na lang kami ng link sa inyo. Ayan, so thank you again for joining us. See you next week for another episode of Baking with Pilmico Flour in partnership with us. Happy weekend. Happy Friday pa pala. Thank you. Thank you, Ma'am Ritz and Ma'am Ria.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you po.